Okay, welcome. Sorry for the change of channel. Can you hear as well? You can start putting like comments at the right. Today we are going to be solving doubts about the application process of Startup Chile Seed program. I'm Camila Postigo. I'm the marketing director in Startup Chile, and with me is.
My name is Viviana Huerta. I work at the Solar and Energy Innovation Committee.
And I'm Tomás Baeza. I'm the coordinator for energy and innovation and entrepreneurship for the Solar Committee.
Great. So the idea today is that we're going to review some things about the SEED program. We're going to explain what the program is about, what do we have to offer for you, which are the kind of entrepreneurs that we're looking for, and of course, we're going to be solving any doubt that you might have. So please just go there and type your questions, and we're going to be answering one by one. So the first thing, and just to make an overview about the program, Startup Chile is a public accelerator that support tech entrepreneurs that are innovating in different areas. Today, for this call, we're making a special effort to bring energy startups that wants to create an impact in the planet, and of course wants to use Chile as a platform to scale them to another markets. And what we do is that we support and accelerate the businesses so you can go from the point A to point B as faster as you can. We support you with an acceleration program, equity-free funding up to 70K, and of course with a working visa, with a co-working space in Santiago, because in case you are selected, you are going to be, you'll have to come to Chile and stay here for at least 7th month. So just to remember some dates, the application process will be open until next Tuesday, August 27th at 5 p.m. Chilean time, GMT-4, so be aware of that. We always receive emails of people that were applying near the deadline, and some things happen, or the light got off, or something, or internet doesn't work, and we can't receive any application after the deadline. So please be aware of that. Then the results are going to be released on November 29th, past half day. And the program will start on February 4th. That means that every startup that is selected will have to be here in Chile on February 4th and stay here in Chile for at least 7 months. So what we are looking for, and this is very important so you can understand the profile of startups that we support, we are looking for tech-based startups. Every business must have a technological component. That means that it's tech itself, or that use technology to make the service or the product, for example, biotechnology, etc. So if you are working in energy sector, you should have something different. You should have something scalable also, so you can solve things here in Chile and of course in the rest of the world. So with me, we have two experts of the Chilean ecosystem in terms of energy. So they are going to explain a little bit more about the benefits that Chile has to offer you. And just to close about the profile that we are looking for, of course, we are looking for startups that want to create an impact in Chile, so that you want to use Chile as a platform to scale then to another market, that you can scale globally, as I told you, and that are in an early stage. So you can't have more than 3 years since you are working in the company. And these 3 years can be since you incorporate your company in any other country, or since you are working full-time dedicated to the startup, whichever is first, just 3 years. So I'm going to leave you with Tomás. So you can explain us a little bit more about the Chilean ecosystem in terms of energy and what do we have to offer.
Thank you, Camila. We're very excited about this call because this year we're working with the Startup Chile to welcome, and we hope, a good generation of startups that are working on energy transition, renewable energy, sustainable energy, and different technologies. related to renewable energy. And why is that? Because we know that in Chile we have a lot of potential, not just because we have the best solar resource, but we have a lot of resources in wind energy, biomass, geothermal, and of course we have a lot of interest because the country has committed with an energy transition towards decrease the carbon footprint of the energy matrix. Thank you. So we're very excited to open this call because we're looking new companies from Chile or from abroad to come to Chile and to that are looking to expand themselves and to scale up in Chile, in Latin America, and of course all over the world. I don't know if you have something you're gonna prepare for us.
No, just to say that today we are trying to maybe affront the climate change issues, and we think that innovation, of course, is a good tool to accelerate this process. And as Tomás already mentioned, we have many renewable energy resources that can help us to be a platform and a starting point to scale up different projects, because here in Chile we have good conditions to make them more economically viable. So it's a good starting point to afterwards to go to reach other markets in Latin America and also in the rest of the world. So we are welcoming all your good ideas to affront these issues, and we hope to have a lot of energy startups, because it will help us to make to have a good focus on these issues that you can affront in the development of your projects.
Today we received a question over an email, and there was one startup that was asking us if we're focused on one type of energy, and we're not. We're hoping that have different sources of energy startups and applications of energy startups. It can be an application in blockchain or an application in new service, how to buy or trade renewable energy. It can be a new system of cogeneration from biomass or with solar cells or with hydrogen. It's a very hot issue here in Chile. So we're open to any kind of energy technology startups that are eager to come to Chile to open a new market. So if that can help of any of you, this is what we're looking for. We're looking to become a big player for startups towards the energy transition.
And also to provide solution to this big issue that is climate change. So from the innovation aspect, we can find solutions for changing the business as usual and upfront a drastic transition that is required because of the climate change scenario.
Probably you're wondering what can you look for in Chile. There's a lot of international companies that are working in energy systems. A lot of them have committed with the government to decarbonize the energy matrix. We are developing with the Ministry of Energy a strategy for hydrogen. The Ministry of Energy is developing as well a strategy for solar, for renewable thermal uses of renewable energy, electromobility, heating process. Besides of that, there's a lot of attention because this year is the COP25 in Chile in December, so there's a lot of attention there in companies and what's going on in Chile. And besides that, we're working with an international association or international cooperation unit that is called Mission Innovation, that are 25 members or countries that are committed to energy transition and to innovate about that. And we have a meeting next year in May, so the startup that came here to Chile starting in the 4th of February will be in that meeting as well. So we want to invite them as the ones selected and started the startup process to be part of this Mission Innovation next May here in Chile, where we're preparing that with the Ministry of Energy.
And also, I would like to add that in Chile, maybe if you don't know, we already have 2 gigawatts of PV power plants at a utility scale. So, and there's there's a big amount also of wind projects. So there's already some projects that are in place that have been developed without any subsidies, because market conditions are already enough for them to be viable from the economic point of view. So we are expecting that our energy market, solar and wind projects are expected to increase in the following year. So there's a lot of issues related to the operation of those plants, how to increase efficiency or do the maintenance in cheaper ways. So because most of these of the solar projects are located in the Atacama Desert, that has, of course, a lot of restrictions on the water usage. So there are a lot of potential there to develop this or to implement new forms of operating this project with using the resource in a more efficient way. So there's a lot of opportunities over there.
Yes, in big companies as well in residential renewable energy projects. If you are looking for expand your business in residential or small mediums of generation as well, we have a lot of different size and kind of projects that can help you to scale up your innovations and your startups.
Thank you. So we're going to start solving some doubts. So please go and write them. We are going to keep explaining a little bit more about the program. So Startup Chile is an accelerator that have support more than 1,600 startups for more than 85 different countries. So we're a huge community. We are industry agnostic. So we do have startups from any kind of industry. And this time for this call, we are making a special effort for energy solutions, because we know that climate change is an issue and we want to be in charge of that, and we want to make innovation there. So just to start answering some questions that you are doing, yes, the program will start on February 4th, 2020. So that means that on November 29th, we're going to release the results. If in case you are selected, you are going to receive an email from us telling you that you were selected, and we're going to start helping you with the visa process. So the visa process means that we're going to give you a 1-year working visa. So we're going to talk to the consulate in your country. You are going to tell us where you want to take the visa, and we're going to help you to have it in a very short time. And once you come to Chile on February the 4th, we're going to help you to stamp your visa here in Chile, then get an ID, a Chilean ID, and open a bank account. So in 3 days, you are going to be ready to establish your business here and start working here to make your own business. So the second question is, how many startups are going to be selected? So in the application process, we receive around 1,500 startups, more or less. We then, to a second stage of interview, we select 100 startups. And from those 100 startups, we select around 60 startups, depending on the evaluation process, but it's around 60 startups per batch. And can startup be an idea stage without a prototype? No, the seed program are for startups that are already in a prototype stage. That means that you have a minimum valuable product and some traction about our validation. That doesn't mean that you need to have clients, neither customers or sales, etc. But you should have a prototype that you have tried with some users or some potential clients, even though they are not clients right now. We do have another program that is for startups that are in an early stage, but that are also led by a female founder, that it's called the S Factory program. But that's another program, a shorter program and with less subsidy. Just to mention a little bit more about the offer, remember this is a program that lasts 6 months. So you have to stay for at least 6 months in Chile, and then you will receive an equity-free funding up to 70K. All of the startups are going to receive around 35K of the startups that are selected, and then the best ones of the whole generation will receive an extra, an extension of 35K more. Another question here, Weko. We deal with off-grid biomass energy source from grass at scale-up stage. We intend to integrate technology to track operation and measure impact. Do I qualify? Yes. If you have less than 3 years since you are operating with your startup, yes, you qualify for the program. Remember, you need to show which technology you are integrating and which is the innovation that you have in order to compete with the rest of the applicants. We're a team of 6 full-time. Just one of the founders goes to Chile. Yes, you can apply. You have to apply with 1 team leader, and you can apply with up to 2 team members. That doesn't mean that the whole team can come to Chile. We're going to help everyone with the visa if you want to bring more people, but the team leader will be the one that must be a founder, must be 100% dedicated to the startup, and must accomplish all the mandatory things that we will have in the program. So the team leader will have to be here in Chile for 7 months. If the rest of the team wants to join them, wants to join him or her here in Chile, are more than welcome, but that's not a responsibility or mandatory thing for the rest of the team, just for the team leader. Remember, the team leader must be a founder, must be 100% dedicated, must live in Chile from February 4th for at least 6 or 7 months, and must accomplish all the mandatory activities that we have in the program. The acceleration program offers you a lot of connections, beside the funding, a lot of connection with companies or with experts of the industry, such as Vivian and Tomas, and all the connections that they have in the industry. So what we're going to be willing you to do is to get connected in the Chilean market, start selling here or finish your product here and receive feedback of experts in the industry. You will also have an academy with a lot of knowledge that we're going to share with you. You are going to have some advisory board every 1 month where you are going to be connected with mentors, experts in the industry that will be helping you to develop the startup in Chile. So that's the acceleration program about. Of course, we are going to connect you with investors also if you need. So it's an intensive program, and that's why you must be 100% dedicated here, and you must be in Chile to accomplish all that activities. So, and answering your question, if you are 6 full-time in your team, they are more than welcome to come, everyone, but it's not mandatory for the rest of the team, just for the team leader. And remember that the evaluation criteria, 50% of all the evaluation criteria, it's the team. So talk a lot about your team, why you are the best team to develop this kind of business, and which are your expertise and background that makes them unique, each of them, to be in the team. Do I have to have a tech background like programming abilities? No, it doesn't matter. The startup must have a tech component, but it doesn't matter that you are not the tech person, and if you are going to apply as a team leader and come to Chile. That doesn't matter. We need someone, a founder here, that can make decision about the business and can guide the business to the way, to the north that you are planning to guide the business. The 70K fund could cover some of stay expenses of the founder. Yes, with the grant of remember it's 35K at the beginning for everyone. You can, with that, you can pay for housing costs here in Chile, and of course, development of the business itself. That means hiring people, making marketing campaigns, developing technology, developing a product, testing things, whatever you need to deliver and improve your business. If there is proof of concept, can we use funds to make a product? Yes. If you have a prototype already and you have done a proof of concept with any potential client, then you can apply with that and then spend the grant that you are going to receive to develop a functional product. That's the idea, that you can go from one stage to the next one in a very fast way. I don't know if we have solved all of your doubts.
What about the language, Camila?
Yes, the language is a very important thing. All the program is in English because we receive startups from all over the world. Each generation has more than between 20 or 25 different countries. So everything is in English. The meetings are going to be in English. The academies are going to be in English. So there's no problem with that. Of course, if you are a Spanish speaker and you have a mentor that speaks Spanish, of course you can do your meetings in Spanish, but all the pitch events, all the pitch training that you are going to receive, all the connections or the academy that we are going to do, it's always in English.
No, I remember a question from yesterday. Do I need to have like a very good understanding of English, or some kind of good level is okay for the program?
No, kind of good level is okay. A lot of people take classes here, English classes or Spanish classes, the ones that doesn't know Spanish. So it doesn't matter. What we need is that you can understand and that you can present your startup in English. That's the main thing. But remember, the language is something to change the mindset also. We do it in English because the mindset, it's a global, we need global mindset. So for that, we need you to start practicing your English, start talking with people that maybe they only know English, and that you need to get connected with them. So other question that we have received in the past is, for example, which is the kind of impact that we expect you to have in Chile or in the Latin American market. So what we expect is that you can use Chile as a platform to scale then to the other markets, that you want to create, for example, a team here in Chile, or you want to start selling here in Chile, you want to have clients here in Chile, anything that anything that you think that Chile how can Chile be an asset for you? And that's a very important part of the application process also. So remember that in the evaluation process, we have two stages. In the first one, what we are going to evaluate is 50% about the team and the experience and the background of the team leader and the rest of the team. And the other 50%, it's about the competitive advantage that you have and the product and solution that you have. In the second stage, then we will include interviews, and in that interview, you are going to be asked about the impact that you want to do in Chile. So start making research about the Chilean market and how this market is good for you, even though because it's a small market, so you can start making pilots, or because it's a market that it's well known about the energy industry and they are working a lot in innovating there in that industry. So you have to convince us why Chile is a good country for you and for your startup. And solving some other question, it is mandatory to incorporate our startup in Chile? No, you are going to apply as a natural person. And then once you are here in Chile, you can incorporate your company. And of course, we are going to encourage you to do it. We're going to help you also to do it. But you don't have to have your company incorporated neither in Chile nor in any other country for apply. And if we have tested at laboratory condition, can we apply? Yes. You can apply, show all the results that you have had with the laboratory testing. Remember, we are not expecting you to have sales, and of course, it will depend on the industry, like how advanced you must be. If your solution requires a lot of like technical validation, it's okay if you don't have some commercial validation yet, but show us all the results that you have had and all the challenges that now you have to go to the commercial area.
Another question here from, we will have support to connect with the energy ecosystem in Chile. Yes, we're working on that. We're working with Engie, with Enel, with Eskener is a big company here. From the big 5 or 6 companies, we're working with the associations that are working with energy companies, from Asesol, who works with the small companies that implement rooftop solar projects, to big companies that have big scale, utility scales, photovoltaics, wind, and besides that, we have from Corfo, the Chilean Development Agency, we have 4 excellence programs or excellence centers that work from solar energy, marine energy, and wind energy, and that's more or less so they have labs, they have infrastructure, so we will help you to go there too. So yes, the ecosystem is eager to welcome you and to work with you, because we know that, as Camila mentioned before, this is a global ecosystem, so we want to connect you globally from Chile.
And of course, if you are selected and you participate in Startup Chile, we are going to help you, as Thomas said, to connect to other markets. Then we want to be the door to open the Latin American market for you. So you can trust in Chile, you can test in Chile, and then you can go to the rest of the countries. Some other question: with seed funding from external agency in Chile, do we hold 100% control of our company, or give revenue or agency to the seed funding? No, this is an equity-free program, so we're not going to hold any part of your company. We're going to give you 35K in the exact amount are 25 million pesos. And that's the 90%. The only responsibility that you have is that you have to put an extra 10%, but in expenses for your company. Nothing for us, just for your company, but you need to have this 10% to spend in your own business. But it's totally free. So I just want to recap in some important things, since we have more than 35 minutes of this webinar. We are going to go to some final comments. The first one is, remember that the applications are open until next Tuesday, August 27th at 5 p.m. Please don't wait until last minute, because problems happen, and a lot of people write us just after the application closed that they had it ready and they couldn't put submit. So please try to submit it before the 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. To avoid any kind of problem, because we can't make any exception. We're a public organization, so we can't make any exception to receive application after the deadline.
Remember that 3 p.m. is from Chilean time, so it's
5 p.m. 5 p.m. Chilean time. That means GMT -4. So be aware of that, please. Then also, other important thing, for applying, you must go to www.startupchile.org. There you are going to find all the terms and conditions of the program and the application form. The application form will take you around 30 or 45 minutes. So take your time, and especially take your time to show everything that you have. And some tips for the application is that make it simple. Be very clear about the solution that you have, the problem that you are solving, and of course the technology that you are using, and who is the team behind the business. That's very important. You will also have to upload a video. Don't get confused with the video. Don't hire a professional to do your video. We need simple video just to know you, to see you, or hopefully we can see the whole team, explaining what you are doing, what you are solving, why you are different from your competitors, and which is the team behind. Okay. Some other tips is that don't say you don't have competitors, because you always have. Even though you are very, very disruptive or very innovative, you, in some way, you have competitors that are solving the same need, even though they are not solving in the same way. So if they are solving the same need, that means that they are your competitors, and let us know why you are unique and why you are different from them. That's very important also. Which other thing is very important? Okay, other important thing is that once you apply as a team leader, you won't be able to change that condition in any time. So if you are selected, that's the person that must come to Chile. So be clear about that, because if you apply with someone as a team leader and then you say that that person can't be here in Chile for 7 months and you want to change to other founder to come, you are not going to be able to change it. Again, the one that applied to as a team leader must be the one coming to Chile, and you can't change that in any part of the process. Those are the main things. I'm going to ask. No, I think we have answered all the questions that you have been doing. So if you have any other question, just let us know. We are going to be closing this webinar now. Remember, August 27th at 5 p.m. GMT-4 is the deadline. Results are going to be released on November 29. In case you are selected, you are going to start your program on February the 4th, 2020. And you have to be here in Chile for 7 months at least. You will need to show which technology are you working with, why you are different, why you are unique, why you are innovative, and why Chile is a good asset for you. I don't know if we want to share something else about the industry, just like some memory things that you want to share to them.
Just if you have further question, contact us by our Twitter account or email that we have shared. If you need more information about the industry in Chile, in our website, www.comitesolar.cl, you can find several studies. A couple of them are in English as well, so you can see the market size or the opportunities related for evaluating your market in Chile.
Yeah, we have one more question. And can we stay longer afterwards and continue to receive mentoring support? Of course, we are willing you to stay here in Chile, to grow your business here in Chile, stay here in Chile for a long time. The minimum is this 7 months, but if you want to stay, then of course you can do it. We are going to help you with a permanent residence or to get an extension of your visa, so you can develop your business here in Chile. We are willing you to have you for a long time. So yes, of course you can stay. And once a supper, always a supper. We call supper to all the entrepreneurs that have been part of the community. So we keep supporting the whole portfolio, not just the current generation, but the ones that have passed through Startup Chile also. So if you are part of the community, you are going to be part of a huge community, more than 4,500 entrepreneurs all around the world, more than 85 countries. So any kind of help that we can give you, more than welcome to ask, and we are going to be more than happy to give those benefits for you. So we're done.
Thank you, Camila.
Thank you, Tomás. Thank you, Vivi.
The webinar is going to on our website.
Okay, so if you want to review some questions and answers that we have done here in the webinar, it's going to be in Comité Solar website, in the social media also. And any doubt that you might have, you can write them directly or also to contact@startupchile.org. And we're going to be happy to answer it before August 27th, 5 p.m. That it's the deadline. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hope to see your proposals.